The 51%.
Hello, I'm Annette Young, the host of The 51%. This week we're coming to you from the Jordanian capital of Amman, where some 400 women politicians from 80 countries are meeting to discuss ways of closing the gender gap when it comes to political representation. But how do you actually reach parity when there are still so many, particularly in this region, who still believe that politics is strictly for men? Join us here on France 24.
The 51% on France 24 and on France24.com.
Thanks very much for staying with us. Time now for Eye on Africa with me, Georgia Calvin-Smith. Tonight, the search for clues as to what happened to bring down an EgyptAir flight over the Mediterranean continues. 66 people were on board. Greece denies that wreckage found close to where the jet crashed comes from the plane. Also, the Nigerian army reportedly ramps up operations around the Sambisa forest as the first Chibok girl to be rescued from Boko Haram extremists 2 years after being taken from her college meets with President Buhari and offers valuable information about the whereabouts of the remaining 218 kidnapped pupils. And in a bid to open up a world of possibility that would most likely never have been considered in weighing up their futures, Club Code in Nairobi is teaching computer programming to young girls. Well, first, Egyptian, Greek, French and British authorities have been scouring the waters of the Mediterranean Sea for debris and victims of an EgyptAir jet that went down suddenly en route from Paris to Cairo. There are no signs that any of the 66 people on board survived. There was no distress call from EgyptAir Flight 804 before it dropped from the skies, suggesting that whatever brought it down was sudden and brief.
Investigations underway. The big question is, why did EgyptAir Flight 804 crash in the Mediterranean Sea? While there's no definite answer at this stage, Thursday afternoon Egypt's aviation minister said it may have been brought down by terrorists.
The situation may point, and I say may because I don't want to go to speculations and I don't want to go to assumptions like others, but if you analyze the situation properly, the possibility of having a different action or having a terror attack is higher than the possibility of having a technical. So that's why we want to wait for facts, we want to wait for proper investigation, and then make our own statement.
En route from Paris to Cairo, it went missing at 37,000 feet, halfway between the Greek island of Crete and Egypt's northern coastline. After entering Egyptian airspace at 2:45 a.m. local time, no distress call was made. According to Egyptian and Greek aviation officials, it made a 90-degree turn to the left and a full circle to the right before crashing.
You have to realize that with the current situation of the strong winds, it's very difficult for any evidence to appear of the possible fall of an airplane into the sea.
Military units, planes and naval forces have been dispatched from Egypt and Greece, with French teams now joining the search and rescue operation. 10 crew members and 56 passengers were on board, among them 30 Egyptians and 15 French nationals.
Well, the first teenager from the hundreds of Nigerian schoolgirls kidnapped by Boko Haram extremists over 2 years ago has met with Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari in Abuja. Amina was 17 when she was abducted from her school in Chibok. 218 of her schoolmates are still missing. She was found Tuesday with her 4-month-old baby in the Sambisa forest, the militants' last stronghold. She's now been reunited with her family.
I express my appreciation to the government for rescuing my daughter. I never thought I would see her again. Having seen Amina grow up to the age she was and was snatched away from me, I was broken and devastated. Today, Amina is back with me and I am thankful to God, and I thank everyone who helped rescue her.
Well, Amina has revealed details about the girls still in captivity. Some have reportedly died, whilst others are being held under heavy guard in the forest, she says. The Nigerian army has reportedly scaled up its operation in the Sambisa forest. But despite celebrations over Amina's return, aid workers say that she was sexually assaulted and appears traumatized by what she's been through. There's been criticism of at the speed with which she's been making media appearances. President Buhari has said that the state will help her get back on her feet.
also be involved in ongoing work with Amina, monitoring her progress and letting any additional support she requires. The continuation of Amina's education, so abruptly disrupted, will definitely be a priority of the federal government. Amina must be able to go back to school.
Now, the UN says that 5 Chadian peacekeepers have been killed and 3 wounded in an attack in northern Mali. The peacekeepers' convoy reportedly hit a roadside bomb and then came under heavy fire from gunmen on Wednesday, this north of Agalok in the region of Kidal. Islamic extremists have been targeting foreign and Malian troops working to stabilise the north of the country, this in the wake of a French-led military campaign that ousted jihadis from power 3 years ago. Chiefs from the UN's MINUSMA mission says that it looks like extremists appear to be more strategically prepared than before.
There are still as many attacks. There hasn't been an increase, but the attacks are better prepared, more precise, and so more effective. We've seen this through an increase in the death toll and in the number of wounded in our forces over the past few weeks. This attack yesterday in Regalek against the Chadian contingent with 5 dead and 3 wounded shows that the attack was very well prepared, because they managed to stop a convoy with IEDs and then to attack from afar with mortar bombs, and then they attacked directly with guns. This is the first time that we've had to deal with this kind of attack here in Mali with 3 different approaches.
In Democratic Republic of Congo, presidential hopeful Moise Katumbi will face trial on charges of threatening state security. The millionaire businessman and former governor of Katanga State is President Joseph Kabila's leading rival in elections due later this year. An investigation into allegations that Katumbi had hired foreign mercenaries was opened just as he announced his plans to run for the top job. If found guilty, he would be barred from standing for the presidency. His supporters say that he's being set up.
He's a former ally who today has become an adversary, and they're trying to find a way to take him down. They're trying to stop him from winning the election or even running. If the facts are proven, then the judiciary will hand down its verdicts. Things shouldn't get emotional. This shouldn't be about hate, but the court has to be completely independent so that the verdicts handed down is accepted by everyone.
In a bid to open up a world of possibility that they would most likely never have considered in weighing up their futures, Club Code in Nairobi is teaching computer programming to young girls. It's not only about giving them access to a skill so valuable in today's world, but also about tackling gender equality.
Out with chalkboards and school books, and in with computers and coding. At this primary school in Kibera, a slum in the Kenyan capital, girls are preparing themselves for a future in IT.
I think it is important to learn about computers because sometimes maybe if you grow up, you can be a person who usually uses computers and you don't know how to use the computer, and it will bring a big problem to you.
At their weekly code club, pupils learn how computers work with the help of kits donated by an NGO called Code Academy. The aim of the project is to tackle gender discrimination by giving these girls access to technology and hopefully access to jobs.
We are doing a lot of coding here with the girls so that at the end of the day, when they'll be living here, they know at least a bit of what is the coding and what does the computer work, just the nitty-gritties of the computer.
Kibera is the largest slum in Kenya. It's a dangerous place where cases of rape are common. For Kibera Girls' School head teacher, the after-school computer club is a way to keep pupils out of harm's way.
We do not like them to be so much out into the Kibera village because otherwise they would engage into things that are not acceptable, or they would be abused, maybe child labor, the many abuses you would think of. So we would like that once we take a girl into our program, we keep her and make the space very safe for her learning.
Code clubs are being rolled out at schools across Kenya, Uganda and Senegal. Despite the challenges of poverty and discrimination, organisers hope they'll spark an ambition among these girls to become the computer scientists of the future.
Well, that's it for Eye on Africa. Thanks very much for joining us, and please do so again if you can. Take care.